And now I know exactly why it went viral. So today we're testing a whole bunch of new makeup products. Some of these makeup products went viral on TikTok. So if you're interested, let's get right into it. I've already done my skincare. I like to do my skincare 30 minutes before applying any makeup on my skin just because it just allows my skin to absorb everything before applying makeup. Because if you're gonna put skincare and then go in with makeup, your skin is really not absorbing the skincare, which is not really helping your makeup. So you definitely want to apply your skincare at least 30 minutes before applying your makeup. So now that my skincare is good, I'm gonna go in with a hydrating mist, and I'm gonna use this Pacifica Vegan Collagen Hydrating Setting Mist. I love the setting mist because it has vegan collagen, which is good for your skin, and on top of that, it helps lock in hydration onto my skin and then making my makeup just last longer. And I'm gonna use this Glowish Blur Jam by Huda Beauty. This is supposed to be a silicone-free hydrating primer. It's supposed to have a matte finish. I actually already used the product and I honestly really like it. This is what it looks like on the inside. It's a very thick primer, almost kind of like a gel-like consistency, and I like to just focus it at the center of my face because that is where I usually need to mattify my face the most. So it definitely gives my face a matte finish. It feels very hydrating on my skin. Like I feel like I just put on like a super hydrating primer, which is really why I've been loving this. And this is actually a new product that I've seen everywhere on social media, but I honestly actually really like it. So for foundation, I got this Danessa Myricks Yummy Skin Blurring Balm Powder, and I got this in the shade number 9. So this is what this looks like. So it's a balm, but it's supposed to be drying on your skin like a powder, and it's supposed to be like a very light coverage product. As you can tell, I've already used a little bit. I only used this product one time and I was amazed. So I'm gonna be using this today. The shade does look a little bit darker. However, because it's a very lightweight product, I don't think the shade would be too bad. So this is a texture reducing, coverage boosting, blurring balm that dries down to powder, and it's supposed to help balance oils throughout the day while maintaining hydration on your skin. So I'm just gonna take a brush and apply this. Now on TikTok, I did apply this with my fingers, so you can go in with your fingers if you wish, but this time I'm gonna apply it with a brush just so that we can see the coverage and how it looks like. So picking up a flat brush and just saturating the brush with it, I'm gonna go in and apply the product. And as you can see, this product is so easy to apply. Like it just gives this really nice and veil finish on the skin. It literally makes your skin look super healthy, and the product literally melts onto your skin. And I just love the fact that it dries down to look like a powder, so it doesn't look oily on your skin, and it also helps to control oils throughout the day. So this is what the product looks like on my skin. This looks like healthy skin, to be honest. Like it just gives you this really nice veil and very natural finish. You can wear this on its own, or you can apply concealer, which is exactly what I'm gonna do just to add dimension onto my skin. Now I'm gonna go ahead and apply concealer and contour, and I'm gonna use this iconic London multi-use sculpting palette. So this is a 6-pan palette that comes with like concealer shades, and it also comes with a little bit of contour shades. I love this palette because you can just play around with like different shades. So for concealer, I like to mix this shade right here, and I also like to mix it with this shade at the bottom right here. This just gives me that perfect shade that allows me to highlight under my eyes without making it too light or too dark. And I'm gonna place the concealer on my forehead as well, and on my nose area and on my chin. And then immediately I like to use a beauty sponge just to blend it out. Because this is a cream concealer, you want to blend it out immediately or else it's gonna dry under your eyes, which you don't want any of that. So this contour palette is supposed to be an easy to blend palette, which I can see it's just blending out super flawlessly. I'm gonna go ahead and blend out my chin area as well and on my forehead. Now you can use the brush applicator to blend it out, but I just feel like a sponge is much better and easier because it helps to absorb all that excess product in case you've put too much, and also it just gives you a really nice seamless finish. The next I'm gonna apply the contour, and for contour I like to mix this shade right here with a little bit of this shade in the middle, and I like to just directly apply that on my cheekbone area to help contour. This can act as a contour and a bronzer at the same time. I also like to place this on my forehead and on my jawline. Then I like to use the beauty sponge to blend it out as well, and you just want to lightly press that on your skin because you don't want to move the product too much. You still want the contour to show. And as you can see, the contour kit just gives me this really nice creamy texture on the skin, and it just looks really healthy and glowy. But we're gonna go ahead and structure the nose, and for the nose contour I got this Kaja Don't Settle concealer. I love using this concealer because it's just just super natural. So the shade that I use is 11 Cocoa Macaroon, and this shade is actually perfect for nose contour, because with nose contour I like it to look a little bit natural, and this shade just gives me a really nice brown shade. It's closer towards the color of my foundation, so it doesn't make my nose contour look too harsh. So just taking this contour brush, I like to blend this upwards to make sure it ties in with my nose bridge and blend it downward. Then of course you want to go back in with the concealer to get rid of all these harsh lines so that it looks nice and natural. And this concealer is actually really easy to blend. It's not complicated at all. So now it's time to set the concealer. So I'm gonna go in with this Kimchi Puff Puff Pass powder. I've been seeing this powder everywhere and everybody raves about how good of a powder it is. So I recently decided to get it. This is in the shade Santan. So it's supposed to be this fine powder that sets your makeup all day long, even when you cry. So I'm really interested in seeing that. And you can even use this powder to bake under your eyes, which I'm just only gonna set my concealer because that's how I like to set my skin. So using the sponge that I used for the concealer, I like to just dip a little bit of that powder, just about that much. And then I like to place it at the back of my hand. This is gonna get rid of that excess product. Then using whatever's left, I like to just focus that right underneath my eyes to set that concealer. I love using fine powders to set my concealer because they just give you more of a flawless finish. And I also like to use a sponge because it gives the finish of baking without you baking. And I like to place a little bit right here for reverse contour as well. Then of course I'm gonna place a little bit on my forehead area. So to set the foundation, I'm gonna go in with the NYX Can't Stop Won't Stop powder. This is a go-to powder. It's not a new product, but it's also a very popular product. But I like to use this in the shade Mocha to set all over my face. So I'm just gonna go in and press that all over to set that balm that I put on my face. This is going to help get rid of all those oils, and it's gonna make the balm last longer on your skin. This powder is also a very lightweight natural powder, so it really doesn't cake up on your skin, which is why I absolutely love it. I'm also placing this underneath my eyes where I applied that powder just to help dim it down a little bit, and then I'm gonna place some on my forehead as well. So basically all over my skin. All right, so I went ahead and did my eyebrows just because I use the same product, which is this Milani Weekend Brow. This is in the shade Espresso. I love using this just because it makes the eyebrow application so much easier. Now we're gonna go ahead and move on to eyeshadow. I'm gonna prime my eyes and I'm gonna use this e.l.f. eyeshadow primer. I love using eyeshadow primers just because they make the eyeshadow application process so much easier. It gets the pigment of the eyeshadows to show on the skin, and it makes the blending so much easier as well. So for eyeshadow palettes, I haven't really found any viral palettes recently, so I'm just gonna go ahead and use these Revolution Ultimate Nudes palettes. I love these palettes because number one, they're affordable and they have such beautiful shades. So I'm gonna use the shade Dark and then the shade Medium, mix them together. So going into the shade Dark, I'm gonna pick up this shade right here. Using this shade, I'm gonna use this as the transition color and the crease color. So I just like to start on the outer portion, build up the pigment around that area, and then whatever's left on the brush, I like to just drag it towards the inner portion and fade it out. Now I'm gonna go in with the medium palette. I'm gonna go ahead and pick up this shade right here. I'm gonna place that shade right at the center of my eyes, and I love this shade because it's so nice and pigmented. I'm gonna go back in to the first palette and pick up that shade again. I'm gonna use this shade and place it on the inner corner, and this is just gonna help create that halo type of eyeshadow look. I'm gonna tie it in with the top. So for mascara, I got this L'Oreal Telescopic mascara. I've been seeing this mascara everywhere. It says that it's supposed to help lengthen your eyelashes. It's supposed to give it like this full look, and when I tried it out, honestly, it was really good. So I got this in the shade Dark, which is Noir, and I love how skinny the wand is. So I think it makes the application super easy. So even if you have short eyelashes, I feel like this mascara would work perfectly because I have very tiny eyelashes and it really helps to just lengthen your eyelashes. So I typically like to go in with 2 coats just because I feel like 2 coats will give you the look that you're trying to achieve if you're going for longer eyelashes or you don't want to apply any false lashes. So I'm going to go ahead and apply the second coat on this eye. And as you can see, the mascara gives me length and it gives me fullness without making my eyelashes too clumpy, which is what I don't like with mascara. So now I'm gonna pop some lashes on. These are the Juvia's Place eyelashes. So I'm gonna go ahead and smudge this burgundy shade right underneath my eyes as well. Then I'm gonna go ahead and apply that mascara on my lower lash line. And I feel like this mascara is great for the lower lash line because your lower lash line lashes are very, very small. So the wand is very small to fit those lashes. So I'm gonna go in with bronzer and I'm gonna use the Fenty Beauty bronzer in the shade Mocha Mommy. And this is definitely a go-to bronzer for me. It's an oldie, but still a really good product. So I'm gonna use this to warm up my skin to give it a little bit of color. Then I'm gonna place a little bit on my forehead as well. The next I'm gonna go in with this Juvia's Place Blushed Rougey Blush Palette. So this is volume 4. So this has been a very popular palette on TikTok. And I love using this shade right here. It's just like really nice and pigmented. It just adds that color that you need onto your skin. And now I know exactly why it went viral, because this blush palette is so rich and pigmented and it's a matte blush, so it just adds color without giving your skin shine. And I also like to place a little bit of blush on my chin area as well. All right, now it's time to apply the lip product. So I got this Fenty Beauty Glossy Pose volume 5.0, which these two shades right here are already shades that were available, but this right here is a new shade. And I'm super excited to try this out. This is the Universal Lip Luminizer. So this is the shade right here. It's called Fuchsia Flex. It's just like this super gorgeous, rich and pigmented pink glittery shade. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply it without lip liner because it looks like it's really pigmented. And this is like a perfect holiday color as well. So this is what that shade looks like. I honestly feel like you don't really even need a lip liner to rock this shade. It just looks super rich and pigmented by its own, and it's super glossy, and I can definitely see that it has a little bit of glitter on it, which makes it more shinier. So I love that shade, but not with this eyeshadow. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply this shade right here called Cupcakein. But first I'm gonna line my lips with the Rare Beauty lip liner. Then I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this shade. I feel like this shade would match the eyeshadow better. And this smells like cupcakes, like no lie. It literally smells so sweet. So this is what the shade Cupcakein looks like. I actually like this shade better because I feel like this shade can go with most types of eyeshadow. But I feel like this shade right here, you can rock it without any eyeshadow, or maybe with like a light coverage, very natural type of eyeshadow that's not too colorful. But this shade right here is perfect. It's like a really nice, soft pink nude type of shade. You guys are gonna be seeing some of these products a lot in my upcoming videos, and I just love how this makeup look turned out, especially with this Balm powder. It just gives you a perfect base. If you guys haven't catch up on my latest video, then watch it over here on the screen. But other than that, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next video.
KLJ, welcome to a channel where it's poppin'.